Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash, and double honors unto our elders and apostles of GMS the Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Shalom, shalom. And this is Brother Nabala here with a lesson. All right. And today, I wanted to get into the book of Hebrews 11. All right. Because as you can see this title here, it says the triumph of faith. All right. So, pretty much, Hebrews 11, gets into the different, how can I say it? Gets into the different aspects of how faith, all right, delivered, our forefathers. All right. And Hebrews 11 is a very, very, very beautiful, beautiful chapter. Because it gets into faith, man. All right, you gotta have faith. All right, the scriptures say here in Hebrews 11:6, I believe here it says, "But without faith, Slakia." It says, "But without faith, it is impossible to please Him. For he that cometh to Yahweh Shema Shai must believe." All right, faith is having belief. All right, that He is and that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. All right, so you truly gotta believe and have faith that Yahweh Bashim Shai, all right, will deliver you. All right, you got to truly believe that Yahweh Bashim Shai will deliver you from any circumstance that you're in, any tribulation that you're in. All right, because in the times that we're in, you have to have faith, man. All right, it's impossible to please the Lord without faith. You have to have faith along with your works. Okay, so it's beautiful, man. This chapter. It's a real faith booster, man, because you look here and you read, you know, and you look at our forefathers, and the type of faith that they had. All right, got them delivered. All right, and that's the type of faith that we're gonna need in these times that we're in now. All right, we're gonna need this type of faith that our forefathers have, man. All right, we gotta, the times of Jacob's trouble. All right, we got seeing brothers posting videos about a global famine. All right, you really got to have faith and trust and believe that Yahweh Bashim Shai is going to protect you in those times, man. You really got to believe that, man. All right. So, matter of fact, let's get the book of Psalms 91, because Psalm 91 talks about how Yahweh Bashim Shai will be our refuge, man. All right. Let's get the book of Psalms 91, because that's always a good chapter to go back to, man. It says security of the one who trusted in Yahweh Bashim Shai, all right, which is faith. You got to have faith. You got to believe in Yahweh Bashim Shai. Faith is having trust. Faith is believing in Yahweh Bashim Shai, all right. It says, let's start at verse 1. It says, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty, all right. And the secret place, man, is this truth. All right, this truth, man. All right, is the secret place of Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right, because not everybody is gonna understand. Not Yahweh Bashim Shai has blinded many to this truth, man. All right, this truth is only given unto the elect. All right, only elect is gonna perceive and receive this truth. All right, in the book of Isaiah 6, it talks about how Yahweh Bashim Shai has blinded those people not to receive this truth. All right. So ultimately, those people that couldn't receive this truth don't have faith. They don't believe in Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right. It says, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say unto Yahweh Bashim Shai, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in him I will trust. All right, he's our refuge. He's our protection. All right, he's our hedge of protection. So we got to put our trust in Yahweh Bashim Shai, man. All right, trust going back into having faith. You got to have faith in Yahweh Bashim Shai, man. All right, It says, surely he shall deliver thee from the snares of the fowls and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and thy buckler. There you go. His truth shall be thy shield and thy buckler. All right, this truth. This truth is what is going to protect. What does it say? Wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times in the book of Isaiah 55:6. All right, this truth is what's, having faith. All right, and having this truth, being under the heads of Yahweh Bashim Abishai is what's going to get us through these times, man. All right. It says, thou shalt be afraid. It says, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor the arrows that fly by day. It says, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth noonday, that wasteth at noonday. All right, but pretty much the point that I wanted to get into is that, having faith and believing and trusting in Yahweh Bashim Abishai, all right, along with your works, man, will get you delivered, man. All right, it will, if you're, Lord's will, if you're part of the elect. All right, the scriptures say in the book of Hebrews 11:6, it's impossible to please the Lord without faith. All right, so let's go back to the book of Hebrews, and we'll start reading here. Hebrews 11, Salakia. Okay, we're going to be the one roughly down to... Okay, so we're just going to read, all right, get into a few accounts. All right, so it says here, the triumph of faith. It says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. All right, the scriptures say that we are prisoners of hope. All right, so let's get into this word hope real quick. All right, of things hoped for. All right, to hope in a religious sense, to wait for salvation with joyful confidence, hopefully, to trust in. You see, to have hope, it's the trust. All right, you gotta have hope, man. Hope is the trust, man. You gotta put your hope in Yahweh Bashim Abishai. Put your trust in Yahweh Bashim Abishai that He will deliver you from, these judgments are that's gonna come upon Babylon the Great. All right. It says, for by it the elders obtained a good report. All right. The elders, man, they have testimonies, man. All right, they're witnesses, all right, of the things that Yahweh Bashim Abishai has done for them, man. All right, the scriptures tell you in the book of Sirach 2, or is it the book of Sirach 2:10? Yeah, let's get that. I got it queued up here. It says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in Yahweh Bashim Abishai and was condemned? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? All right. Those that have faith in Yahweh Bashim Abishai, who has he ever despised, man? All right. They put their faith, they put their trust in Yahweh Bashim Abishai, man. So he always delivered his prophets. All right. He always delivered his men. All right. It says here, through the deliverances, that they're a witness to those things. All right, they're a witness through the power of Yahweh Bashim Abishai delivering them. All right, it says through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahweh Bashim Abishai, so that the things which are seen were not made of the things which do appear. All right. It says by faith Abel offered unto Yahweh Bashim Abishai an excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness it says that he was righteous, Yahweh Bashim Shai, testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. All right, now this gets in, back in Genesis, man, when Abel, you know, uh, through faith, gave Yahweh Bashim Shai, or gave Yahweh, all right, a righteous sacrifice. All right, while Cain gave Yahweh Bashim Shai a wicked sacrifice. All right, and Abel did that through faith. Okay, it says by faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death. It was not found and was not found because Yahweh Shema Shai has translated him. For before his translation, he had his testimony that he pleased Yahweh Shema Shai. All right. So Enoch, man, he did the things that were pleasing unto Yahweh Shema Shai, man. All right. He did the things that were pleasing unto Yahweh Shema Shai. All right. Through faith. You see? It says, but without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Yahweh Shema Shai must believe that he is, and that he is the rewarder of them that diligently seek him. All right? It says, by faith, Noah, being warned of Yahweh Shema Shai, the things not seen yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteous, which is by faith. All right. So, Noah took heed, man. He took heed to the warning from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai through faith. All right. And he built that ark. All right. He built that ark. All right. Nobody else around him believed, all right, that a flood was going to come. All right. So therefore, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, found Noah, righteous. All right. Through his faith, man. He had faith, man. He believed. All right. He believed that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai was going to bring that flood. So therefore, Noah and his family was saved. I believe it was seven souls were saved. All right, along with the pairs of the animals that he had put on that ark. All right, it says by faith Abraham, when he called to go out into a place which he should after receive for inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing whither he went. It says by faith he so sojourned into the land of promise, and as in a strange country, dwelling in the tabernacle with Isaac and Jacob, and the heirs with him of the same promise. It says, for he looked for a city which hath foundation, whose builder and maker is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. So, even, Abraham through faith. All right. You got to have faith, man. These are all just the many different accounts. Okay. That our forefathers, had, man. All right. That Yahweh Bashim Yahushai came through for them, man, through faith. All right. The scriptures say, let's get this. Salakia. I believe it's in the book of Matthew. Romans 15:4. It says, whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. All right. So the things that are written of here in Hebrews 11, all right, were written for our learning. All right. Were written for our learning. Just to show that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, always delivered, our forefathers always delivered, his men, his prophets. All right, because they have faith and they believed and they trusted in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. So let's go back to Hebrews, Salakia. Hebrews 11. Let's get into the account. Where is it at? Where's the account where it talks about Moses? Right here. All right, this is Hebrews 11:23. All right, it says, by faith Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid, of the king's commandments. All right, because you remember when Moses was born, all right, the Pharaoh, he put an order out there to keep all the girls, all right, and kill all the boys, all right. And when Moses was born, he was hidden, okay. And it says, by faith, Moses, when he was come to the years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. All right, and that was by faith. All right, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, that to enjoy the pleasure of sin for a season. All right. So Moses, man, through faith, man, he chose to suffer with his people, man, and when his people were in slavery. All right. He chose to suffer with his people, man. He had faith, man. Moses didn't have to do that, man. He didn't have to. He had everything that everything that that he ever could have wanted. All right. Being, under the Pharaoh, but, he gave all that up. All right. Through faith. All right. And chose to suffer with his people. All right. So it's beautiful, man, to go through these many accounts. All right. Here in the book of Hebrews, man, and see, all right, what our forefathers been through and the type of faith that they had, man. That's the type of faith that we need, man. We got to know and trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and believe that he's going to deliver us through famine. He's going to deliver us through Jacob's trouble. He's going to deliver us, when when nuclear destruction comes, man. We really got to believe in these things, man. We really got to have, full trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. It's beautiful, man. The times that we're in, all right. We're gonna start seeing many miracles, man. All right. So, I just wanted to do, a quick lesson on that, man. Get to a few accounts, all right. Of our forefathers having faith, all right. As we read in the book of Romans 15:4, that these things were written aforetime for our learning, and we could definitely learn from this, man. All right. It's beautiful. All right. So, with that being said, I pray that this lesson was edifying. All right. And I just pray, that, I explain, things to the best of my ability. All right. And, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak Badash, and double honors to all elders and apostles of GMS, the Great Millstone once again. And this is Brother Nabala. Until the next lesson, Shalom, Shalom.